In a forest blanketed by dappled sunlight and the gentle whispers of leaves, life thrived in tranquil harmony. Creatures of all kinds scurried, hopped, or ambled across the soft, mossy floor, each with their own unique pace and purpose. Among this lively community lived two animals whose differences were as striking as the moon and the sun. The hare, agile and brimming with confidence, wore his speed like a crown. He darted from place to place, his every movement a blur of energy, and he never lost an opportunity to remind others of his unmatched swiftness. The tortoise, on the other hand, moved through the world with a quiet resolve. His shell was sturdy, his steps deliberate, and though he was often the last to arrive, he carried with him a calm patience that seemed to anchor the very air around him. Day after day, the hare's teasing rang through the forest. He would leap over the tortoise's path, laughing, "Come on, old friend. At this rate, you'll never see the end of the meadow." The other animals chuckled, some in agreement, some in sympathy. But the tortoise simply smiled, a gentle, knowing smile that seemed to say he was untroubled by the hare's words. "Perhaps you're right," he would respond in his mild voice, "but I believe steady steps can take me far." One crisp morning, as dew sparkled on the grass and birds sang their waking songs, the tortoise decided it was time to answer the hare's constant taunts. Lifting his gaze to meet the hare's, he said, "Let's settle this, friend. Why don't we race to the big oak tree at the far end of the meadow?" The proposition sent a ripple of excitement through the forest. Animals gathered, whispering and giggling, unable to imagine the slow tortoise ever defeating the fleet-footed hare. The hare, delighted by the prospect of an easy victory, agreed at once. "Prepare yourselves for a show," he shouted, puffing out his chest. The following day, animals from every corner of the forest gathered at the starting line. The fox, clever and fair, was appointed as the referee. He raised his tail, signaling the start. "On your marks, get set, go!" The hare exploded from the line, a streak of fur and energy. He sprinted ahead, his paws barely touching the earth, leaving a cloud of dust and the sound of laughter in his wake. The tortoise, undeterred, took his first slow step, then another. Each movement was measured and sure, his gaze fixed on the distant oak tree, his heart steady and unwavering. As the hare raced through the meadow, he felt exhilarated by the wind and the admiring glances of his fellow animals. After a while, he glanced back and saw that the tortoise was nowhere in sight. "What a ridiculous challenge," the hare thought. "There's no way he can catch up." Feeling utterly secure in his lead, he spotted a shady tree and decided to rest. "Just a quick nap," he mused, stretching out on the soft grass. "The old shell carrier will never close the gap." With the sun warming his fur and a cool breeze rustling the leaves, the hare soon drifted into a deep, carefree sleep. Meanwhile, the tortoise pressed on. His journey was slow, his path long, but he never faltered. He did not waste energy worrying about how far ahead the hare was. Instead, he focused on the next step, then the next, embracing the rhythm of his progress. Every inch forward was a quiet victory, a testament to his perseverance. Time slipped by as the tortoise made his way through the meadow. The sun climbed higher, casting golden rays across the landscape. The animals, once entertained by the spectacle, now watched in growing fascination. There was something inspiring about the tortoise's unwavering determination, his refusal to be discouraged by the laughter or the odds. Eventually, the shadows stretched long and the day grew warm. The hare, still under the tree, stirred from his nap. He yawned, stretched, and casually glanced toward the finish line, expecting to see nothing but empty grass. To his shock, he spotted the tortoise, slow but persistent, just a short distance from the oak tree. Alarmed, the hare leapt to his feet and charged forward with all his might. His legs pumped furiously, his ears streamed behind him, but the gap had closed too much. With one final, unwavering step, the tortoise reached the base of the great oak tree. Cheers erupted from the crowd of animals, their voices echoing through the forest. The hare skidded to a halt, breathless and stunned, just moments too late. The fox, with a sly smile, lifted the tortoise's foot in victory. "The winner is the tortoise," he declared. The forest buzzed with astonishment and admiration. The hare hung his head, his pride deflated, while the tortoise turned to him with kindness in his eyes. "Slow and steady wins the race," he said, his words carrying a quiet wisdom that resonated among all who listened. The lesson of that day lingered long after the cheering faded. The animals understood that talent and speed are valuable, but they are not everything. Overconfidence can lead to carelessness. It is discipline, patience, and the willingness to keep moving forward, one step at a time, that often brings true success. We live in a world that often rewards quick results and flashy achievements. It's easy to feel inadequate when others seem to race ahead, reaching milestones with apparent ease. Yet, the story of the tortoise and the hare reminds us that comparison is not the path to fulfillment. The tortoise did not try to match the hare's speed. He honored his own pace, trusting in the power of persistence. Consistency is a quiet force. It may not draw attention or applause at first, but it builds momentum. Each small effort, repeated day after day, creates progress that is both enduring and meaningful. When challenges arise, or when setbacks threaten our confidence, it is the tortoise's example we can draw strength from. There will always be moments when we are tempted to rest on our laurels or underestimate the journey ahead. But true accomplishment comes to those who refuse to give up, who keep moving forward even when the path seems long and slow. So, whether your race is big or small, remember, every step counts. Celebrate steady progress. Trust that your efforts will add up, and never let impatience or discouragement slow your journey. In the end, the finish line is not reserved for the fastest, but for those who persevere. Let the story of the tortoise and the hare be a gentle reminder. In life, as in the forest, it is steady effort, not just speed, that wins the race.